And we're live. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Roll up, roll up, roll up, roll up. The closer you are to me, closer you are to a bargain. We beat West Ham United. I couldn't be happier. To me, it's as important, if not more important, than beating Arsenal, because they're the first anti-Semites that we ever came across in our existence as a football club. And again, I'll say it to you. Read Anthony Clavane's Does Your Rabbi Know You're Here? I recommended it to Tony, and as you can see, his hair's grown back and it's changed his life. Gentlemen, how are we?
Very good, thank you very much, sir.
Very well. Chris, communicating by semaphore, using his feet, thinks he's still in a casino. Right, so we beat West Ham. Shall we just go through that with what we thought of it and how we got on with that? Do you want to start us off, Chris?
I thought it was a very good victory, a very good performance. For a London derby, it was somewhat slow in tempo, and at times it felt like walking football. But the first half, I think it would be fair to say, after the first 18 minutes or so, we pretty much dominated. Only a member of Tony's gang, the wanker in the middle crew, prevented us getting our worthy.
Sorry, excuse me. I just have the professional wanker in the middle. Thank you very much. We trained for that.
You bald bastard.
He's an accredited masturbator. I think
exactly.
This is some casual slight you can do.
Yeah. It takes hours of dedication to perfect our art.
Only a dubious refereeing decision and an even more dubious decision not to consult VAR prevented Romero getting a perfectly good goal.
Can I just quickly interject at this point, just in case anybody was unaware of the fact it was picked up on my live stream, which was a huge success. Thanks for asking. But the referee was of the Australian persuasion.
Explains all, wanker.
Yeah, doesn't it?
No, I will go to his defence here. Jared Gillett is one of the better referees in the Premier League. But that was that was a fucking shocker. That really was an absolutely shocking decision. And VAR just did what they always do. I know they've got to back them up. I know there's instances where you back them up where you don't think there's a clearer and obvious mistake, but I don't see how the footage clearly shows, was it Fernandez, I think it was, wasn't it? Pushing into the back of Van der Ven, who then pushes into Walker Peters. Because of that, I mean, I don't see how you can't spot that. I really don't.
So we went in for half time, had our tea and biscuits, had some love from our new coach, came out, and lo and behold, coaching pays dividends when, guess what? We scored our second goal of the game from a corner, this one rightfully given. And then from that point on, West Ham sank like the Titanic, and we were really good with almost 10 men because Mathis Tell looked completely lost playing centre forward. But I thought that Xavi Simons showed signs of what we're going to get there, and that's a quality footballer. I thought Palhinha is the glue that holds the midfield together for retrieving the ball and giving it to somebody to distribute. He does that brilliantly. Nasty tackle, which was rightly sent off. Stop being a mong. You do it very well.
I'm going to pick you up on Palhinha later because he wasn't really doing very much. He only touched the ball 40 times.
Okay, I thought Jed Spence at left back was exceptional. I thought Porro didn't do anything wrong. Both the centre backs played well. And again, with the exception of Mathis Tell, I thought it was generally a very good performance. But it shows that what can be achieved when people are properly coached. And you looked at the bench, and for once, the bench half reasonably strong, as opposed to some of the showers of shite we've seen last week. But we beat West Ham. We hate West Ham. They're pikey cunts, and we got what we wanted.
Here.
Tony V, do you have anything of any value, worth, or substance to add to that excellent summary?
Oh, fuck it. No pressure. One player who I think our esteemed colleague has missed out is Kudus. I thought he had a superb game. Yeah, he absolutely roasted them.
He was battling and bustling. And I read a stat in the last few days that he's attempted, not succeeded, but he's attempted more dribbles than any other player in the Premier League so far.
I'll take that. Every day, all day long, because that's what Brendan Johnson never did.
And is incapable of doing.
Exactly. I just thought he rose to the bait really well because obviously they were giving him grief. And I thought he rose to that in the best way possible, which is to actually is to show him how you can play, show him what you missed, show him what you're missing. And I thought he was superb. He really did influence a lot of play. His corners, I don't know what. Again, you talk about coaching, Chris, but for the first time I've seen in many seasons, we actually have someone who could take a corner that actually beats the first defender, and really sticks it right on the money. I mean, he was getting an incredible amount of height and whip on the ball. And I just thought that was causing chaos. It was absolutely causing chaos in the West Ham defence.
I thought that was a thing of beauty. And those two corners, they were very, very similar to each other, but one of them didn't involve West Ham players cheating.
Yeah.
At the risk of sounding super, super boring. I'll just come in, I'll segue with this little thing which I spotted on the official site this morning. Andreas Georgsson. That's a name some of you will know, and others of you will know that he is our set piece coach, assistant coach and set piece coach. And Pape Matar Sarr was very quick to come out and single him out for praise with his goal. And he says it's about the coach. He's here, he beamed Papa. He spoke about at half time. He just told me when the ball arrives there, you will score. It was good timing. I scored, and that's for the coach. We worked on it 2 days ago. I told Xavi yesterday, if you have the ball, put the ball in and I will score. In the first half, we spoke together. I told him to cross the ball, and it was good timing. When the ball arrived, I headed it in. It was a nice goal, always nice to score in a derby. But what a light years away we are from Ange Postecoglou. And we don't need to spend a lot of time on this creep because he's no longer with us, but it's important that he's been in charge for one game. He's already injured one player, a seasoned player who last season played 32 games. So far under Ange, he lasted 30 minutes. And he was in his press conference. I've never seen anybody dancing on the head of a pin like the big, fat, useless, dirty lump. And he was trying not to use the word, we need more time. But he was talking about his strategy sinking in with the
strategy. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, did he actually use that word?
Yeah. I mean, the guy is beyond delusional, and it was the same post-match twaddle that we got at Tottenham, where you get thumped 3-0, you have your trousers pulled down, it's a cold day, and all the girls in the class are pointing and laughing, and he's describing it as if you realised when you got your lunch open at the zoo that you'd only got in there one small sandwich. And you were going to be starving after about an hour. So yeah, he was. Oh yeah, they were very good with the first goal. By the time the second went in, we're up against it. But we managed to hang on in there, and using all of this empty, vacuous, meaningless phraseology. I think he's going to get exposed at Nottingham Forest, and I think I'm not sure any of our coaches have been particularly managed by Daniel Levy, who has obviously left our premises, but he was in charge over Ange. But I think Marinakis is going to be bouncing up and down on his fucking head because that's another megalomaniac who has lots of staff and blah, 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 but he can't leave well alone.
I think the funniest thing is the clear message that your mate Maurice Gibbs-White perhaps doesn't want to be there because, surprise, he's had an absolute shocker in every game he's played for Forest this season, and there's now calls from the Forest fan base that he should be dropped, having been made the highest paid player on 150 grand a week and given the captaincy. But when somebody's standing behind you holding a gun to your head, you generally say what that person wants you to hear. But
don't forget that was a rum deal all round. You had this business of Marinakis sort of scenting his territory, and this is a Nottingham Forest player, not for sale. And the Nottingham Forest player saying, "Oh yeah, well, Mr. Marinakis this and Mr. Marinakis that," and then he signed a 1-year extension.
Yeah,
that's like asking somebody to marry you and saying that you're going to commit to 18 months or a year in the relationship. A marriage tends to be forever.
Well, there's no point in ever taking out the extended warranty on your toaster and kettle as wedding presents, as you might have moved on by then.
100%. I mean, it's like taking out an extended warranty and what's its name on a kettle from Argos, which costs you $6.99.
Yeah.
And did you notice in the presser as well? He's doing his old trick. Doesn't look at the interviewer.
I saw Match of the Day Saturday night. First ever interview for Nottingham Forest. He's looking at the ground.
But I know it's embarrassing.
What an absolute cum bucket to bring in the whole of the coaching staff from Tottenham.
Apart from Matt Wells, who is good.
Yeah.
And Matt Wells against West Ham was, and I know this is going to blow some minds here, but he was wandering around the technical area and independently having dialogues with players because he's part of the coaching staff. And when Thomas Frank was on the sidelines before half-time, he was busy making notes and having deep conversations with his team of coaches.
Yep.
So none of this, you all sit still and don't say anything, and if I look at you, you're allowed to come and ask me something. But all of this nonsense has gone out the window. I couldn't be happier. I could not be happier. And I don't particularly hate Nottingham Forest. I kind of wish he'd gone to West Ham, to be honest with you. But the idea that somebody else is going to rather think so grandly of themselves that despite everything they saw at Spurs, and I know we don't have a perfect squad, there's work to do on that side of things, but goodness me, we're not that bad that a semi-passable, semi-decent coach couldn't have made, meaningful improvement.
I tell you what's also really noticeable as well. I know we were winning, so obviously you've got to take that into account. But when the likes of Bergvall were being substituted, there was a smile on Frank's face. There was a lot of camaraderie. You could see that he's got the rapport with the guys. He's got that closeness with them already. They trust him. They know what they're doing.
What he's got is intelligence. Now, I frequently speak about this in relation to footballers because I think most of them are narcissistic, work-shy psychopaths. They're actually pretty maladjusted people, and that's because I'm greedy. This is my disgust that they're well off petering through. But the deal is that you have to look at this West Ham game. I'm making a big deal of this, and it could all go wrong tomorrow, but I get the sense that because we saw this is a very similar template, by the way, to the Manchester City game. Sat through 20, 30 minutes going, dear God alive, oh, geez, I hope they don't score. And it's almost like we're a boxer weighing up the opponent, and then by the time the half-time comes, we've got their number. Frank's done his work and they come out. But the players, this is my opinion, and people can slate it for all they want, but the reality is he's got players now for his European game who he's managed to get off of the track, pull them out of the ring, whatever language you want to use, so they're a little bit rested, because even coming off 5 or 10 minutes makes a big difference, because you're dealing with like grade A racehorses here. He's pulling them out of the game and taking them off. They're winning, so mentally they're feeling not so fatigued, because we all know how it works. You walk out the stadium and we've won. I don't give a damn. There's 850. Hit me with another inches. I want to suck in the atmosphere. Whereas if you've lost, you're down the road a piece. You don't even want to nip into a Wetherspoon and get a pint of Guinness for £3. You've had it. You just want to move on, go home, have beans on toast, go home and cut your losses. But he's got these players coming off. They're rested. That's the best he can do. They're successful. And this game on Tuesday night, which we'll have a look at, I have no objection to Richarlison playing at that game. And it's not because we're making robbing Peter to pay Paul. This is because Richarlison went to Bolivia. He had a flat game there. And I think just giving him a few sort of charity minutes, I think playing him on Tuesday will do him some good. And if he can follow the instructions as he did at Manchester City, there's no reason why he couldn't make a bit of a mark for himself. We're big favourites for the Villarreal game.
Let's just pause for one moment and we'll go back to a name that Tony mentioned. Lucas Bergvall. Forgot to say how impressed I was with him throughout that game. And that second goal, who played the ball over the top? Was it?
It was Romero.
It was Romero, and that was a goal from yesteryear. That was
Yeah.
that was a sort of goal that you'd get Garth Crooks scoring or Steve Archibald scoring.
Yeah.
Absolutely made your heart sing. Just
But
tremendous.
watching that kid, you know there's a player in there, and you think, who's going to get the player out of him? Ange, no chance at all, or Thomas Frank. And you know what? There's really positive stuff. You think when you've got Kulusevski to come back, who is a good player. He's not everybody's cup, he is a good player. And you think when you've got Kulusevski to pick from,
I thought you were going to get an egg out from under your cap.
Kulusevski to pick from, Xavi Simons to pick from, Randall Kulu Mwani to pick from.
Yeah.
Then you get some. It won't be this season, but you've still got James Maddison. All of a sudden, if we could just perhaps get that final piece in the January transfer window and add some genuine talent on the left side, you're starting to get the makings of a squad that could most definitely do something.
Well, the idea that you're coming into a Champions League game tomorrow night. Excuse me. And you're not having to, as I say, rob Peter to pay Paul. You didn't throw the West Ham game or go in undergunned for the West Ham game because your mind was on Tuesday. We've actually got a situation now where we're going into the West Ham game. Pretty much he could field the same team.
Well,
I think it would be insane. I think he needs to, if he can get a bit of momentum going, get the ball in the back of the net at least once, hopefully twice, and then make some further substitutions.
Well, Tell's not named in the European squads.
Dreadful. And what
I think that's deliberate, though. I think that's deliberate. That's why he kept him on, Chris, because there was no reason not to. Even though he was terrible, there was no reason not to.
I think tactically, from a tactical position, made complete sense. From a fan position, I wanted him off at half time. But I think tactically, Thomas Frank did the absolute business. But I find it extraordinary. There are people saying, and it's almost like they're nervous to question things. And they're saying, oh, well, I don't know about Tell yet. He's young.
Well,
he's not that bloody young.
We've heard snippets, H, that we've discussed about the younger generation of the Lewis family starting to ask questions about why we made certain signings and why we wasted money on shite. Well, that comes to mind with Mathis Tell. You look at him and there's 6 pairs of eyes amongst us. All 6 of those eyes can tell that there's not a great player there. And we're told he operates best out on the left. Well, I've never seen him beat a man. I've never seen him cross a ball. And then through the middle, he looked completely lost on Saturday against very poor opposition.
I've never seen anything from the guy, not a single pass that I thought was particularly exciting. And listen, I don't have it in for him. I'm not stupid. I'm basing it on the football that I've seen him create. And for me, if you want to go down that route, you go and support someone else and you petition that fan base and that CEO to buy him. I'm a Tottenham fan of long bloody standing. And, do you know, all this, oh, yeah, but I believe in so-and-so. Get yourself down the mosque. If you're full of belief, get yourself down the mosque. I'm sick of it, honestly. Keep on waiting for these acorns to grow into oak trees, and it very, very, very rarely happens. And we spent a lot of money on him. We lost a third of the transfer fee on the Harry Kane deal, in my book, because I do back of the beer maths. And I'm not happy with the decision. I wouldn't have bought him. I think he's a mistake. Will he come good? Do you know? I don't care.
Well, thankfully, the cause of all our problems has been kicked out of the club. So if we were to...
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting that
all of those transfers, there might be more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah, I think the press have been very quiet on that. And I think, for what I've said before as well, this business of people prefer happy news rather than bad news. But for Christ's sake, we've had a quarter of a century of this bald git. And guess what? It turned out it was an avaricious little skeleton. Absolute simpleton. He was engineering to sell this. He was a guy who'd got a bit of roadkill that he was trying to fashion up to put in the window of his butcher's shop so he'd have a good Christmas. And they got wind of him. He made constant mistakes, cost us a fortune, but he always covered up for it with these ta-da moments. And you can't begrudge him the fact that he did routinely get top dollar for frequently mediocre players. The guy that was Stokes' record signing or whatever the hell it was. I spent 18 million on a defender. But he did very well. But all too often, for me, the milk was soured by the fact that he was making fundamental error after error after error. And we went through this whole phase for certainly the last decade, but it might have gone on longer, where we had players on our books that people just needed to emotionally let go of. We got nothing back, and all we got was, oh yeah, I really rate so-and-so. Well, it's nice that the voices in your head are telling you that so-and-so is a great player, but there's no evidence of it when I go through the numbers. Zero evidence at all.
A great phrase for that, H, based on what I remember you in one of your posts you said about the fact that we're of the top six, we're the lowest wage bill of the top six, is if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a fan base, and I have to attack them because lots of them don't agree with me, which means they're probably wrong or they've got something that a GP needs to have a look at. But the idea that you're going through monkey poop looking for undigested bits of peanut to tell you that you were right. You had some semblance of being on the money. You were on the mark. And you just don't talk to me about it. The players that you're highlighting just aren't fit for purpose. And I don't look at other clubs in this sort of forensic detail, if you like. But it just strikes me, this mentality, this mindset of Thomas Frank, and I know it's early days, but you get your players together, you make them feel happy. I got no indication, because I tell you, I don't believe anything at face value. All these players that were pouring their hearts out, saying, oh, they'll miss Ange. Really? Where were you for the 22 games that we lost? Because
in Australia.
I know where Chris was. Chris was putting his money out of his bank into Enix coffers, and then he was spending his day off work, schlepping up the motorway, going to watch a dreadful game of football, probably losing, lost at least 22 games, lost more games than any other side in the Premier League had ever lost without getting relegated, and then coming home again and kicking the cat.
Yeah.
Those are the facts. Those are the facts. So all this business of, oh yeah, we missed him. Yeah, and an £8.50 inches cider stinging the back of his throat. He's looking for his omeprazole as he's on the motorway. He's finding a Tums that's got belly button fluff on it in his ashtray, and that's his life.
Yeah, you just nailed it perfectly. Well
But yeah, just give it up. What I want to see is players playing well. The coaching you can see, it stinks of coaching. The way we took apart Manchester City and West Ham United this season, I haven't been so proud to be a Tottenham fan since we had Martin Jol, because the football was both entertaining and very watchable. And that's why, and I don't think it's any coincidence, and I'll leave this because I've been rambling on for ages, but I don't think it's any coincidence. I'm actually happy to do these watch-along things because I want to watch it. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I want to watch it. I didn't want to watch any of the Ange games. 90% of the time when I posted a presser on the Substack after the Ange games, people were basically telling me to naff off. And these are my nearest and dearest. People don't want that content.
I think Thomas Frank must be counting. If he's not a religious man, he must be counting some form of lucky stars. And if you are a religious man, he must be thanking whatever deity he particularly worships that he's come in at a time where there's a lot of what I can only consider to be positive change within the club, because they've obviously kicking Levy out in such an unceremonious fashion, and with the statements coming forth, yes, there's proof of the pudding and all that sort of thing, but when you announce to the world what the things that they're talking about doing, you'd look a right twat if you don't then start doing it. You look completely incredible. You have no credibility, and you'll lose the fan base very, very quickly if you don't start. Now, I was expecting them to start chugging 650 million at everything, because I know that's just not the way the world works, and certainly not football, unless you're Chelsea, of course, where no amount of money seems to be enough. But what we expect is if they say
that's the working title of the next James Bond film, by the way.
It's all we see. Thomas Frank must be thinking, I've got rid of that asshole. I can now actually deal with people who want to actually succeed. So I can now actually start to show them that I'm worth it and that I will get investment. And he must be, I think he must be secretly somewhere thinking, yeah, I've timed this well. I've really timed this well. I could have jumped a couple of years ago, but I've timed this one really well now.
Everything's aligned for him.
Sorry, go on, Chris. Go on.
I said the stars have aligned for him, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so. I really do. I really do.
His manager to have had seen his fate executed by Danny Boy, but Danny Boy is no more. There, we are told there is change. Only time will tell if that's actual talk is cheap, whether it leads on to something. But he's got footballing people around him. He's got genuine coaches. He's got a philosophy that he's looking to implement. You're seeing happy players. You're seeing people coming off and they're happy. And you've got coaches, as you alluded to, Matt Wells on the touchline, shouting, screaming, talking to people. Not the same under Fatso, where he was Chairman Mao. Everything went via him. If you opposed anything,
Chairman, not now.
Yeah, you were fed to dogs in some North Korean backwater somewhere.
I think well, as we keep saying, we'll have to see how we go, because I don't want to, deteriorate into complete happy clappers just because Laughing Boys left the building. But the idea that the Lewis family made a point of being in the stands for the West Ham game. I'm not a child. That was a political move. They were cementing for those images to go across the nation, across the globe, that there had been a wind of change, and you've now got a new CEO who I know is a massive LinkedIn head. Arvino Vinca, catch him. I understand all that, but this is now the philosophy appears to be. And they're talking about putting 100 million quid in because they made 90 million quid selling rights, broadcast rights, curiously enough, to Australians. And I just think that's tremendously good news. If they're going to go out and give us a lump sum, and this is for the January window, this isn't for every penny goes back into the club and all this fucking never toffee, this jam tomorrow. But if they're going to turn around in January and say, well, we've identified somebody, he's not particularly cheap, but we have a strategy and we're going to see that plan out, I'm all over that. I'm all about that. That is what I want to hear. Not we're going to sit there and ooh and ah and blah, blah, blah. Because if you've got the money ready to go, you've got the cash on the hip, the odds of you coming home with the item in the bag when you go to the store are very high. But we never felt like that before. And if they're prepared to coin in on somebody this winter, I would be immensely impressed, to put it mildly. I really would. I mean, I don't know, but as you say, Chris, the stars have aligned for Frank, and you could argue that they have also aligned for ENIC, because you don't black bag your CEO in the way that he. And I'm going to say it because I just don't care for the lack of humanity in the guy, but the way that he ruined so many lives before his career was ended. He's got his money, he's got his family, blah, blah. Interesting that Josh is still involved in ENIC. Clearly the lad's of an age where he can think for himself, and they think around him at ENIC that he isn't completely and utterly poisoned by his father.
Well, it's also as well. Sorry, Chris. So go on, Chris. Go on.
So much so I've had to retire that vest into the box with the Jim will fix it badge, the xylophone, and the copy of Two Little Boys with Two Little Toys.
What vest is that?
That one that I was going to storm the boardroom with.
Oh, the
suicide vest.
The tactical vest.
Yeah, the tactical vest. Yeah.
But what are you going to do, though? Because that's going to leave you, speaking on behalf of your personal shopper at Selfridges, that's going to leave you with a wardrobe dilemma, because nice cars dilemmas, by the way. But with what you're going to do with the backless chaps that match the tactical vests that you were going to ram full of Semtex and other explosives, which I understand are available on the dark web.
Now Levy and Cullen have left. I've got too much time on my hands. I'm going to have to get another.
I reckon he'll be. I don't know if you've seen Life of Brian.
Only about 20 times.
Yeah, you remember the bit where Spike
Only.
Milligan, where he'll go around with the shoe, and at the end he's sort of standing there looking around and saying, well, "What do I do now? What do I do now?" I think that's pretty much what Chris is going to be like.
But he'll be ticking.
Yeah.
Hopefully not talking. Is that ticks as in Tourette's? Fucker, cunt, wanker, shitbag.
Thanks for that. And it was nice being on YouTube, and we wish you all well on the other side. So we've got the Villarreal boys tomorrow, and looking at the betting, Spurs are favourites. They're fifth in their division, so they're not rubbish. But I was just wondering, what are your thoughts?
The Yellow Submarine comes to town. Villarreal, we should be beating them, really, shouldn't we? If you look,
but they've got a good pedigree though in European competitions, haven't they? You know, especially in the Europa League. I mean, they've won it a load of times, haven't they? So they're not mugs. They're not mugs. They're not mugs. So I think we underestimate them at our peril.
They're currently fifth. They're currently currently fifth in La Liga with 2 wins, a draw, and a loss. 4 opponents so far have only won 2 games between them. Currently 14th, 16th, and bottom. So they've played some pretty poor sides in their division, which is to provide context because they'll play everybody twice. That's how it works around the world. No room for complacency. So a mate of mine, Kevin Mills, on the Spurs show's Facebook thing. No room for complacency, but we're in a better form and face tougher opponents in our opening games than them, and hopefully will land us in a good, comfortable win. Could not agree more. Absolutely spot on.
That's when isn't Malasonovan gone there? Hasn't he? He went to Villarreal, didn't he?
Yeah. So all our free plasticine, all our free plasticine monkeys in the audience will take great delight in berating him through the game. But that's
because just looking at the squad as well, they got Pepe, haven't they? Nicolas Pepe, who was Arsenal's biggest sort of spaffing of money, wasn't he? About 70 odd million when they could barely play. And then you got Party as well. Thomas, I love the ladies' party.
Thomas room service party.
Yeah,
Thomas,
and then Ayoze Perez. Do you remember him from Newcastle? Ayoze Perez, and then Leicester as well, wasn't it? I think Leicester and Newcastle.
Wow, that is a convention of misfits.
Yeah, and Foyth as well. Foyth's there as well, still, isn't he?
No,
yes. I said to you twice, but you chose to ignore me, both of you.
Yeah, well, listen, mate. I'll tell you what. You're a very, very aggressive character, and I don't like the way you make me. You feel me. You know, you make me feeling demeaned and belittled. So I try to slow down my online interaction with you, and I'm also terrified about any of these WhatsApp messages.
That's because I didn't. When I mentioned the fact that he was in the squad, I didn't mention the words "he's still in the squad." You can't.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to get our attention, talk like you normally do. If we thought we were speaking to somebody from ESPN, we're going to give you the old, put you on the long finger, as they say.
So there's a lot of shall we say, other teams' biscuits. Juan Foyth.
Juan Foyth.
Is that Juan Sheet?
Juan Sheet does plenty.
Yeah.
That's more like it.
Oh dear, but we should beat them. We should beat them, shouldn't we? We really should beat them. But they do have a European pedigree. But
but all of a sudden we've got better quality players, haven't we? So you'd fancy our chances with the likes of Simons and Kudos.
Can I mention the white elephant jumble sale in the room? We're champions of Europe. Handy Hawk. Andy Hawk, Tottenham have landed. Andy Hawk.
Oh wait! When you say champions of Europe, what exactly is it? What exactly do you mean?
I don't know that we are. I'm simply repeating what I've heard other people on YouTube choose to describe us as.
Yeah, but these people would be suitable victims for Fred and Rose West, wouldn't they? So let's.
Oh, come on! If you're not going to do it before 34 minutes, it just looks like a bit.
I thought nobody else. I thought nobody else was doing it, so I thought at least I had to try.
This is product placement, even more awkward than the Coca-Cola truck in the Superman film.
Oh dear!
I mean, you're going to get a reputation as the Myra Hindley of the Three Amigos at this
Oh,
rate.
I see. Oh, he's plagiarising now. Oh, he's that one's person. I lead, you follow. Hey, that's what it is, isn't it?
What we should have actually done is kept the bit at the end after I'd hit the end recording button where we slated Chris last time out.
Yeah.
And said what a great show we'd had and how easy going it was, and nobody attacked each other, and there was just an air of cordiality and information.
That sounds absolute bollocks to me.
You'd think he'd met us. You'd think he'd met us.
In fact, I won't say that, as it could lead to trouble for users.
Give me my chicken, you toothless cunt.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, did I misquote you? Actually, I did misquote you because it was a pizza. I ordered the chicken. You had a pizza. That's right. Sorry. My sincerest apologies.
I think these two.
Just football aside. Terrible news about Ricky Hatton. It was
dreadful.
Fair play to Red and Blue coming together at Manchester yesterday and giving him a decent round of applause before the game started. So I know
Although
people
on a less light note, it does mean we're probably going to end up getting another round of press barrages from that woman that was in Brookside.
Yeah. But I know a lot of people have suffered from mental health problems, and I think he was a very positive advocate for it. And the world is a worse place without him such a young age. So
no, I couldn't agree more. And would like to add, I like the way he spoke about mental health, and he did a video I watched this morning, talking to a young kid who was being bullied at school.
I saw that,
And he said, get yourself into the boxing. That's great. Absolutely tremendous. And it wasn't because then you can duff him up after school. It was about beating them by being a better human being and taking all the positives that boxing brings, discipline, focus, and believing in yourself, and not being somebody that might accidentally, inadvertently give off the vibes that you're somebody you can clip round the head and nothing comes of it.
Punching a punch bag as opposed to being a punch bag.
Correct. Being a bit more in charge of yourself. Because I've got to say, I have huge sympathy for people with mental health issues. I would say, without it being too casual in conversation, I have loads of them, but I choose to keep them to myself. And perhaps that isn't healthy, but as long as you're doing something positive yourself about it, opposed to just sitting there and stewing, and it takes you a long time to learn how to deal with things and not to drink certain things and not to digest certain things because they don't help you. They're not your friends. So if people can have a think about mental health, because what I can't stand, and I've got zero time for, and maybe that makes me a monster, is when something goes wrong for somebody and I got mental health. Well, have you really? I've got a spare pair of shoes, and I don't think that's got anything to do with the stuff that I don't like and the stuff that I can't process easily. So talk about it, talk to your friends, and let it out of your system, and who knows, you might get some kind words as Ricky did. But bad news.
I'm not saying you're a demon, H, but you did make Jeffrey Dahmer look like a Catholic choir boy.
Well, I'm culturally Christian, as you know. So anything when you bring our Lord Jesus Savior into things, oh no, I've been shot. But no, you need to be straight with people.
he went there.
Bloody mosquitoes. But no, it's if you're not getting on with something, you can't process something. Something won't let you go. Something won't let you let it go. Talk to somebody. Find somebody who's got some time, and that is going to be one of the most creative solutions. And I speak from experience.
Who was that charismatic, thoughtful, positive chap we used to have? He used to be good mates with Puskas. Sat around a campfire a lot, telling us how great he was.
Oh my God! Well, I said to Puskas, and Puskas said to me, "Yeah, thanks." About as interesting as I was in Wandsworth Nick with Reggie, and Reggie said to me, he'd spoken to Ronnie, and Ronnie told him, all of this waffle. Stick with people you know. Stick with people you know.
Mental health, mate. That's for galahs.
Yeah. That's for the birds, mate. Get yourself some tinnies. Fucking nitwit. Right, 39 minutes in, and we've gone all serious and nice.
Yeah,
and
I know. We need to
Right,
go
let's
back.
change the tone of the conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
You're all cunts.
Actually, I didn't mean any of that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a massive one is Vicario. I still have zero confidence in that man.
I tell you what got me is that you've got this political appointment, and that's what it is because of his social media posts. And I bet you it was Daniel Levy who made it. But you've got this political appointment of Romero as captain, and then in the huddle, and I've said it before, I've got zero time for this. We pay Frank to do all this in the changing room. I don't want to sit through this pantomime of, oh, did you see? He was talking to everybody. He was really all G'd up, and he's my best friend. I love him. We're not 12. We're not 12, but I don't want the misinformation, the disinformation that this nitwit, this bird brain Italian numpty. That's all I can say. I don't think he adds any value at all. I want to see him improve as a goalkeeper because I tell you something, this run of fine form that we've been enjoying, I don't put any of it down to that guy. I don't put any of it down to Vicario.
Teams are going to pick on him for his inability to play out from the back with his feet. It's all sideways, and when he does, he concedes possession straight to the opposition.
But this busy every time he has the ball at his feet, tell me who is calmed and relaxed by seeing that.
You've got a window open. Is there a draft buzzing through us? I can hear this whistling noise continually.
That's my window because the wind.
He was whistling the other week because he's living in a caravanette.
Yeah, I need to get my double glazing thing. I need the hinge needs to get fixed because it's allowing a little bit of a draft to come through.
You need an odd job, man.
Yeah.
Fred.
Yeah. So Fred or Harold will do.
I'll have a look for it. I mean, only up the road, like I've got any daughters. Lovely.
The name Shipman. I think you're looking a bit peaky. Here, have some medicine.
What's Shipman got to do with fitting double glazing? You lunatic.
Oh, what the hell? I know.
What the hell?
Well, he does a sideline. That's how he gets you, mate. He goes, dodgy, go double glazing. Call Harold.
Well, I was round. Your grandmother didn't look too peaky. So, what else do we think of Frank so far? Is there anything that we've missed? Anything we're giving him too much credit for?
I thought his reaction to the Bournemouth game was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was really positive. He was positive in that he acknowledged we weren't good, and he wasn't trying to excuse it like Flange does and all this sort of stuff. He the blaming. He didn't blame the players. He was very, very sort of precise in his observations. You trust him to work on it and do better. Whereas with the other guy, you never trusted that he was going to get better as a result of that. You thought he's just going to do the same old shit every time, no matter what happens, because that's who he is, mate.
Just think, we could be Rangers fans and we could be discussing Russell Martin at this present time.
Oh, the man that ruined Mikey Moore's career.
Yeah, he's getting Lucy Pinder's briefs every night, so fair play to him, and I hope he enjoys it. But
he's going to have plenty of spare time on his hands, though, mate. Any soon, he's going to have plenty of spare time.
Destroyed by Ali McCoist on TalkSport this morning.
Oh, I saw it. Well, I didn't see it, but I saw the quotes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I think he'll have plenty of spare time for Lucy Pinder in a few weeks.
Yeah, and then Mikey Moore, we sent him up north to a league which was perhaps a little bit easier than the Premiership and the Championship. We put him at one or two teams where they were guaranteed to win, but he's getting hauled off. He's not completing games. He's been shown to be a little boy in a man's world, and all the reports coming out saying that he's offering nothing. And you just think, was that the best deal after all, or would he have been better going to West Brom and playing under Mason and getting some coaching and getting some minutes and progressing?
What are you going to do when any player? Let's face it, even more experienced players than Mikey Moore are playing like an absolute bunch of twats. So how would you expect someone who needs the development time and needs the improvement? He's so clearly not getting coached properly. He's in a team that is, they've lost record amount of games already so far for Rangers. And what do you expect anybody? And nobody. It's like games where, like the Bournemouth game, nobody in our squad came out of that game with any form of credibility or any form of positivity. They all deserved the larrapin they got. But unlike what's happening at Rangers, we've got a coach that actually knows how to actually deal with that and actually turn that around and not reflect on that. Whereas you've got Russell Martin, who basically destroys every club he goes to.
Yeah, I mean, this was the guy who backed Ange when he was at where was he before? Was he Southampton or somewhere?
Southampton. That was the press conference before he got drummed 5-1, wasn't it?
5-0.
5-0, yeah, 5-0.
I'd be interested to get your thoughts on this business with Lord Sugar and our close personal friend Jamie Redknapp.
Threatening to sue him.
To sue him. Do you agree? Does anybody agree that Sugar had the club in a mess? Because my memory, being 1,000 years old, is that when Sugar came in, he was up against a football club that had been run like something out of the Middle Ages, although, in fairness, the Middle Ages was probably a less profligate time in people's lives. But he was wandering around. And wasn't there something wrong with the stadium? It needed a new roof or something. And he said, how much is he worth? And they went, oh, so-and-so. He said, we'll sell him then.
I was listening to, is it Crackers who does Last Word of Spurs, the ex-tube driver?
Oh, the guy that used to get paid 70 grand a year for driving a train backwards and forwards. Yeah, brilliant. I
was listening to him on Last Word of Spurs the other week, and he was talking about when Irving Scholar had the club, we didn't have electric at the training ground. We didn't have hot water. And
Scholar was a bit of a charlatan. I mean, it was glossed over by the building of the West Stand. And for those of you joining us late, I am looking at you that got so excited by the building of the stadium. You didn't want to question Daniel on anything else. But my understanding was that Scholar was a bit of a numbskull and that Sugar came in with his work hard, earn hard, clean business ethics. And the club wasn't in a mess when Sugar took over.
That's what I was going to get to. You listen to this and they tell you this really brutal story about how bad it was and that Sugar came in and he did his very best to change it round. Yeah. And he spent money. So I think he's got every right to be pissed off. But it's the same old voices, isn't it? Every time you've got the Mayor of Manchester, Gary Neville, who sways like the wind. It's his opinion or no opinion. Then you've got your Redknapps. They've not actually been there and achieved much collectively. And Alan Sugar is a very successful businessman who has done very well for himself. And if he thinks he's been wrong, then fair play to him.
He effectively saved us, though, didn't he? Financially, he effectively saved us.
I think there's a lot of revisionism gone on because the fan base, and again, I'm going to single out the people that I don't like because they're always bloody wrong, sees pre-Levy as being a car crash. And that's not technically true. I think Sugar did far more good than he did bad. As you say, love him or hate him, I don't know because I haven't met him. But I instinctively respect him because he has a CV. And I know that may sound terribly old-fashioned, but he's done something with his life. And although I'm still looking for my money back on that vertical record player that my parents bought me for my birthday back in the late 1980s, but he didn't leave the club on fire. And I think Irving Scholar, again, was given a pass by a lot of people because he built the West Stand. But that's all been vaporised now. And I think it's a cheap shot of Redknapp. And I think Redknapp is the home of cheap shots. He's the guy that when we were playing terrible football, I can't remember, was it under Nuno? I'm not sure. But he came there and he was in the studio and he was saying, but Spurs' first team is packed full of internationals. I mean, technically that was the case. Technically that was accurate. But we were playing very dysfunctional football. And I don't think you get that kind of... I just think he's a very disingenuous person. And I think his father is too. The ship sailed.
Speak to Louise Nerding about him and she'll perhaps tell you he wasn't a particularly nice husband either.
Well, I think that goes without saying. But yes, I think you're absolutely right. I think Louise had her fill. I think there were a lot of positives around being people that were very good at bringing money in, which is what those two parasites were able to do. I mean, this to me was the hallmark of their ambition, that they were, I saw one thing at one point, they were wearing a plain Oxford blue work shirt, which they'd had made, and it was 500 quid. Now, I'm not against people spending £1 million on a gold bloody plug tap, or if that's what they want, or taps or whatever. But the idea that you'd be so up yourself that you'd buy a shirt that you could probably reasonably get from Jermyn Street for 150 quid, why you'd need to spend more, and that's just to say that you've spent more, in my opinion.
I'll tell you an interesting story about the Redknaps, but possibly when we're not on screen. And,
does it involve a covert recording by any chance?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've heard that story.
And something for nasal problems, which wasn't Albus oil or Vicks.
Exactly. If you were if you were purchasing a return ticket to Nottingham, they would have been able to help you out.
Are you saying you did a coot?
Well, no, what
was selling it to mass members of the public.
Yeah, I think what it was something that was picked up that turned out to be inadmissible in court because the license for the recording equipment didn't include that because they didn't fucking expect to hear it.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of stuff gets into circulation. So we don't want speculation on that, but take it from us, it's
well.
It's
if you think Daniel Levy's tenure was poor, right? Which we do. You know, he might have got us a shiny new stadium and financially success, but in terms of success, remember when Alan Sugar was in takeover talks with the club, he was in competition with Robert Maxwell.
Yeah.
So the bouncing chick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So can you imagine if Robert Maxwell had won it, we may not have actually had a club.
Well, just think when Daniel Levy took over Tottenham when did he take over? 2000,
2001, wasn't it? Yeah.
Spurs, we had a revenue of £80 million a year we were worth as a business. When he left, we were at 2.43 billion. But the only person to have benefited from that is himself, who's left with a personal value of £500 million.
Well, he did pretty well for the son of a failed tailor who managed to leverage 22 million quid to buy us. Didn't have it under the bed, didn't work hard to get it, but had built up. He was one of the first people to have gamified his credit rating, and that's the business model that he brought to Haringey.
There were subtle hints that I shared with you, H, when it all came to an end, that the proactive approach to tell everybody the club wasn't for sale was telling in its own right. And then Vinay Ventikashian, or whatever the Scrabble score is, putting out the video, being very transparent and being very open, talking about appointments and who was doing what and the commitment from the family. That's not like the Tottenham we ever knew under Daniel Levy.
What it did for me was it drew a line under all of this complete abomination of a workplace where even though your job was to refer up to the guy above you if you were spending more than £50 in petty cash, that then got referred again for buying let's say a fan in the summer for the office because there was no air conditioning in a particular room or something like that. That got referred up to Daniel Levy. Absolutely ridiculous.
You know the best one I've heard? That he was even responsible for the polyester cups in the stadium, which the coffee and teas were served in.
He did everything. He did absolutely everything.
Yeah, you had a chairman of a £4 billion business employing all these people, but not delegating any responsibility. He wanted the final say on absolutely everything.
Every management book you could possibly imagine on the art of management, how to be a good manager, etc., all says the same thing. Micromanagement is the worst kind of management that you can possibly do, no matter what the business is, no matter what the people, no matter what the circumstance. You have to trust your people to do a job.
Surprised at the outcome that achieved, are we not?
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
I have to say, to paraphrase the immortal words of Joseph Stalin, remove the man, remove the problem. And that's what they did.
Yep.
And again, going back to Mao Zedong, change will come through the barrel of a gun, and that's what happened. He felt that in the back of the head and was moved out of the boardroom.
Yes,
Are we leaning a tad to the extreme left here? Are we a bit? It seems that doesn't seem to be your thing. With Chairman Mao and Stalin.
No. I'm talking about historical hate figures. I mean, I myself am culturally Christian, so I love everybody equally and stop the boats.
Well, you can do both. You can still be culturally Christian and still be extreme left. That's not necessarily mutually exclusive.
Well, I tell you what, I prefer politically. I would regard myself as extremely homeless.
Don't worry. If you're an American news announcer on Fox News, you'll be dead in a couple of days, according to them.
Did you enjoy your walk around the streets of London on Saturday?
I didn't get an opportunity to do that. I was involving myself in far darker arts, but
Did you say arts?
Yeah, arts. Yes, arts with a T.
Okay, right, yeah. That's not what you were saying. That's not what you were saying pre-recording, mate. That's not what you were saying pre-recording.
That's because it wasn't on film, and therefore it didn't happen. But a lot of my friends went because they're patriots and they are themselves culturally Christian. And it was great to see. Absolutely fantastic to see. Ordinary people, black, white, Muslim, Asian, you say what you want. All the colours were there. All the creeds were there. But the crazy people weren't. Well, the crazy people were there, and they were the reason that the police were having to be tooled up. But dear God, your neighbour would have felt that, Chris.
We've just had a report in from the British Seismograph Agency saying there was.
We'd like a new needle, please.
Yeah. We'd like. Can we invent a new scale? The B scale.
The B scale. Yeah. You came very close to revealing his.
I did indeed. I did. Yes.
Never stopped him in the past. He used name, home address.
As the great John Cleese said, I think I mentioned it once, but I got away with it.
Yeah, bloody right. So 7:45 tomorrow night will be the return of the Watchalonga Ding Dong, and I'm looking forward to entertaining you all.
That's what you always tell us, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Bonnie Blue's uncle. So the other thing I was going to say is we're going to do a live version of this because I need to get it set up on the YouTube thing, and I wasn't able to do that. And there's no point in doing it live if you haven't told anybody about it. That's why I did a soft launch on the watch along thing before. But live we can do it, and then people can interact and tell them that I should let Chris talk more and that they think Tony's the funniest one. Specious nonsense like that will raise its head. And I'm quite happy to cope with the Vox Pop.
Mate, all I can say is that denial is not a river in Egypt, mate. That's all I've got to say.
Right, we'll hit the hour mark. Any more for any more?
Next two games are crucial. I think they really will. I think you said earlier, Christine, in the chat. I think these will be good barometers of where Frank is truly going. Not that it means it's not the be all and end all of everything, but I think it is a good measure.
Next Saturday against Brighton will be an interesting game. But
Brighton, I overheard something on. I think it was on the radio the other day. That's actually a lie. I don't own the radio, but you know what I mean. But somebody was saying that that basically Brighton have been dismantled. And I think Brighton might be in for a very tough season. Mind you, not as tough as Nottingham Forest's season.
Yeah, we can only hope.
Yeah. Well, I think it's evidencing itself. I mean, listen, it's all very well saying, yeah, but it was Arsenal. I would say, yeah, but we hadn't, what was it? We hadn't won in the East End there for 5 years or something. Yeah. Yes. I mean, that was a tremendous win by Spurs. And I've learned a lesson, and certainly against Villarreal and Brighton, I won't be mumbling about being bored or, I hope they don't score, because there appears to be a strategy in place. And I love it when a plan comes together.
I'm going to miss the Daniel Levy impressions moving forward.
Oh, no, don't worry. That's going nowhere. that the ghost of that mofo will be with us for some time to come. He gave us 25 years worth of material. It's like, people like it when you do a Frank Spencer impression at a party or something. Nothing's too old.
The parties you go to, I don't think that's the impression that you do.
Oh, Betty.
We'll get you on the live chatathon. We'll get you to read some tweets out in Daniel voice.
Yeah.
We'll get you to read. I'll tell you a really good idea. We'll get you to read Lady Chatterley's Lover in Daniel's voice.
The sunlight fell across the barn floor.
As a having buttocks.
Lowered themselves on his little bald head.
I'll get a few more subscribers, won't it?
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget to subscribe. Then you'll miss out on nothing, you fools.
Yeah, but you won't miss out on H doing Daniel Levy reading Lady Chatterley's Lover.
I guess, guys, we're going to have to make a special effort to reconvene Wednesday morning to discuss the night before.
Well, do you want to set a time, and then I can tell the boys and girls as I say goodbye to
I'll
them,
be on
do it as a live one.
I'll be on a flight to Norway from 11, so perhaps we can meet about 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock? Are you good?
I can do, yep.
Well,
yep,
there you
go.
You heard it here first. For those of you who didn't get bored at the 20-minute mark and hit the button, we will see you on Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock. And
in terms of this live-a-thon thing, I haven't had my people talk to your people yet to renegotiate the fee. So we'll have to wait.
The fee will be in according to your value. Don't worry about that.
Well, I'm the funny one, so who gives a shit?
I'll see you tomorrow night at 7:45. We'll all see you on Wednesday, where you can watch us as you have your breakfast. Or you're trying to get the lock off a bike if you live in London. The choice is yours.
You forgot to ever give Palhinha a kicking, so let's end it now.
Oh, yeah, Palhinha. Yeah, I was going to say about Palhinha.
Past the hour mark. Fuck off.
La 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 la.
A little bit, folks.